Hello everyone, it's Carlos Production. I'm sitting here with
Jay Bustillo.
and also with
Clearmind.
studio owner himself. Alright, so this is gonna be an interview style podcast. We're gonna be asking questions, he's gonna be answering, we're gonna get into deeper conversation if time permits. But let's get to it. So Clearmind, tell us about you, what do you do, who are you?
So I go by Clearmind. I'm 23 years old and I own Trap Studios LI. It's located in Huntington Station, New York. Been open for about a year and a half now, and we specialize in mixing and mastering, recording. We're going to be opening a podcast room, and we also handle any artist merch. Be making t-shirts and stuff like that.
What got you into doing music? Like, what was your motivation into doing it?
It has to be my father's obsession with just loudspeakers when I was a kid. I was that kid in the back of the car that was just going deaf,
Yeah.
So I just always loved music ever since then. And then in high school, I used to DJ a little bit for fun. And then I got tired of that. I wanted to just get into the production aspect. Like, it's cool listening to people's music, but like making it is like a different vibe to it,
What kind of music did your dad listen to?
A lot of old hip hop, R&B, like really classical hip hop stuff. Like, he was real old school. My dad was one of those like Adidas shell top type of dudes,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Run DMC vibes.
Yeah, you feel me? Yeah, all those types of artists.
Yeah.
Are you the only one in your family? Because it happens a lot. Like, sometimes it's like the black sheep in like the family. Are you the only one in the family that's into music, or
So my older brother was into it heavily when I had lived in Brooklyn with him after high school, but he kind of fell more into his true passion. He's a car mechanic, so he owns a shop with his boy in Staten Island. It's called Roman Auto Works. So
yeah.
they specialize in fixing all types of cars.
Yeah, if you got a whip, you already know where to go.
Yeah, man.
If I'm ever
We
in
hook you
Staten
up.
Island,
Just let them know
with a flat
Clearmind
tire.
sent you.
Get the Clearmind discount.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I want to ask, like, this podcast, I want to bring people that are doing something with their lives and, like, interesting people. And you interested me because of what you're doing, your age, and just to how old are you?
I'm 23.
He's 23, so if you're 23 out there doing nothing, just start thinking about doing something.
It's
But,
never
like,
too late.
It's
though,
never
you
too
know?
late.
Bro, you're 23.
Some of the most famous people in the world had their start later in life. I think Samuel Jackson was like within his 40s when he got his first role.
Yeah.
Most of his life he was on the streets on drugs.
It's never too late, but if you do it early, bro, holy shit.
Don't let that be an excuse to procrastinate. you
Yeah.
know? Find a balance between the two. There's always a right time for everything.
Yeah, like me, bro, I'll say this to everybody. I'm young, but, like, I got so much shit to do. Like, if I just start doing it now, like, imagine when I'm, like, that's like when when you go looking for work and ask for, like, 20 years experience. Like, that's going to be me.
Yeah,
So
we're
started
making,
so young.
we're making our own experience, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, look what you're doing here, bro. This setups are great. It's awesome.
It's fucking amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to be doing this.
I'm not going to lie.
Last month I didn't think about
23.
Yeah, bro. That's how
only
fast
20 years
these
old
these
and-
ideas happen.
It's not that far off from me.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm only 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So-
And how old are you, Colin?
I'm 19.
Oh, you're even younger, bro. I thought you guys were at least 20.
Right?
Yeah,
we
bro,
we
that's
give
good,
up the
bro.
vibe just because sometimes the way I talk and present myself, like, unless you ask me, like, I'm not introducing you. Hi, I'm Carlos.
Word.
I'm 19.
Right.
Like, that also, like, in a way discredits you.
Yeah, it does. People
So-
will judge you based on your age, but
So,
it's good. It's dope to see you guys doing stuff at a young age. Because
Yeah.
I was the same way at your age, trying to make it happen.
did you always envision having a studio, or, like, eventually develop into the idea?
I always said, like, if you ask any one of my childhood friends, I always said that, yo, I want a studio, like, I want to make music and stuff. Did I ever really plan it out? No. It just happened, like, it was just, I wish there was a set, like, plan I could give you on how it happened. It just happened over time. Like, my friend had a partnership with somebody else. He invited me in.
Mm-hmm.
We ran that studio for a little bit. And then we parted ways after a short period of time, and then I decided to do it myself.
So you built your experience a little bit, and then you're like,
Mhm.
you know what? I want to do this now.
Right.
Like,
Well, like, when I was a kid, we would just mess around on FL or Reaper and record vocals. Wasn't really taking it as serious. More into the production side. I always like making beats.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ever since a kid, I've been doing it. So I took it more serious around your age, actually, like 18, 19. That's when
Mhm.
I was like, all right, like, this is kind of what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then I would say when I was 21, that's when I found the space that I'm currently in. And then here we are,
Nice. How did you
forward.
find the space? Like,
Bro, I found it on Facebook.
Marketplace? Nah,
Bro,
there was no marketplace there.
So, like, I had a falling out with my previous team, and I had quit my job. I had a fallout with them. I had personal shit going on. I was looking for a place to live. So, like, all this was happening in, like, a week. So, like, December 1st, I'm no job, no studio, no
It's
crib.
always at the end of the year, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like Christmas is coming. It was awesome. And then I was really just looking for a room probably this big, maybe even smaller. I just wanted a desk, place to put my speakers, and just cook up. I wasn't really thinking about doing the large scale studio like I'd had it.
Yeah.
It just came into fruition. So I saw a room for an X amount of price, and I was like, all right, let me go check it out. And prior to him showing me that one room, he showed me the suite that you guys know today.
Yeah.
And the rest was history. He was like, yo, I have all this space. What am I going to start doing? It's like, let me get an artist in here. That's where you met Chowda in his room. He was one of my most consistent clients when I started recording at the other studios. And then I partnered up with my boy Lynx. Shout out to blackhippie.shop.
Yeah, he's gonna be coming here soon enough. Like,
Yeah, you should definitely interview him. He got a lot to say.
Yeah,
he
so
got a
like,
lot to say.
Like, definitely, like, bro, we've been trying to plan him to come, but he's been busy.
He's a very busy man, that dude. But he's working on all types of stuff. Actually, before I left, he was talking to vendors overseas about like new summer clothes that he's working on.
He's always
working.
Bro, whenever I get an artist that wants merch, I send him to Links.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's worked anything with them, but like, if you know, like, that's the only person I know that's doing something, and like, he could get it done like that.
Yeah, bro. He inspired me because like I always wanted to get into clothes, but I was more into music, and like he was full into clothing, so I was like, it'd be good to bring us together. You know, the clothing, music, all that stuff goes hand in hand.
Bro, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if someone walks through your doors, you could do literally just about everything for them. You could, from recording, mix, and master, you got that.
Right.
After that, like, you have a brand, you have a logo. If you don't have one, we can make you one. We can get you clothes, we get you the shoes, the hats, everything.
And then we have the sneaker store downstairs.
And we had the sneaker store. I gotta go.
Yeah, shout out to my boy from NY Kicks and Gear. That's Lo Angelo.
Also, I'm trying to get him in here too, bro. I'm gonna bring your whole building in here.
Yeah, yo, he's a dope person. He has access to a lot of dead stock items from Gucci, Yeezy, Nikes, SB Dunks, whatever you're looking for. He could even scout stuff out for you. So if you're looking for a specific pair at a certain size, he could probably get it for you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But tell us, so when you started doing, taking the studio thing serious, you said you had no job, you were going through a breakup. How do you build from the ground up? Like, where do you get the funds to build your studio and everything?
The year previous was COVID, so I was actually at Best Buy, which is like around the corner from the studio.
Yeah.
So I was working part-time there. I got that job for 2 reasons. I thought I was going to have special access to a PS5. It's bullshit. They weren't giving me nothing. I just stared at them all day, but I couldn't buy them.
Damn.
And then that didn't work. But then I was trying to get a new car, which the car I have now is a 2020 Toyota Corolla. But I needed like income because I had not been working prior. I was more on the studio wave. So I got that job for those 2 reasons. They ended up letting go all of their part-time when the whole coronavirus stuff started hitting hard, and they gave us unemployment. So I saved that money, and then I already had the partnership with my studio. So I was doing both and just saving money, building my credit. And then, like I said, like all that, I didn't think we were gonna have a fallout, any of that, So it was very random when I put the studio together. I just used every amount of credit, every dollar.
You ran all your credit.
Yeah, I just.
Damn,
bro.
But that's that's your personal. Was that business like credit or like?
Oh no, personal credit.
Damn, so you really put your credit, like all your money, in like.
I have like 7 or 8 credit cards. It's not something I'm proud of.
This guy, he saw his reaction.
Not something I'm proud of, but I'm also grateful for those financial opportunities because it made.
You know what? There's
possible.
Good credit and then there's bad credit. Yeah. Like I feel like you're leaning towards the good credit, where like you're using that money, getting your stuff, and
investing, and then just letting it pay itself back. I mean, it's the way to do it, bro.
Spending all that credit at clubs not really good credit
at all. You gotta treat credit like a middleman. It doesn't mean you got more money. It's just somebody handling your money for you. He pays up front. If you don't pay him, he charges you a little more. It's just that's how that works.
He's the plug. Think of credit like the plug, man.
Yeah, bro. Don't be late with the plug. He's gonna charge you more the next time. Right?
Sometimes
credit could really take you a long way. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they said how you go to a bank, you get a loan approved for $100,000, right? With that $100,000, you buy a duplex, you get it fixed, and now you're renting out the 2 spaces. You're getting $2,500. Let's say that's your mortgage. Let's say your mortgage is $2,500. Now you have somebody paying off your mortgage, and now you have free. Exactly. So now you have a free $2,500. So that with credit right? You're right. It's like a middleman, but you could really leverage it well. And
oh yeah, like the most successful people, like all those famous like billionaires, like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, don't let them fool you when they say that they did that shit all by themselves.
Yeah.
They had, I'm pretty sure Elon Musk took a $300,000 loan from either his family or from a financing firm. Bill Gates got $1 million given to him. Like, they didn't.
Bro,
You always use other people's money to make shit happen.
You always, no matter what you're doing, you're always gonna need money to make
Right.
money. So figure out how you gonna gain that capital. Whether it's just working out at 5. Me, I did it, bro. I'm an honest working person now.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I used to work.
It's like
I was a manager at a supermarket for like 5 years.
exactly. So you just build your money, then invest it. Don't go spend it all out on like. It's good to have your fun and stuff, but like invest it into what you really want to do. And yeah, everything you're trying to do, like business, like podcast, everything, it requires some level of capital. Whether you already have it on you, maybe your family gave it to you. It don't matter where it's coming from. If you're reusing that and making more money off of that, bro, kudos to you.
Yeah, bro. It's all about investing. You shouldn't be spending money unless you feel like you can make it back and then some, you know? That's how I just approach my finances.
Bro, the only time I don't look about how much money I'm spending is when I eat. Cause
oh, yeah, I just swipe.
Bro, swipe.
That shit had
I see that.
Like,
I'm like those girls that go to a shopping mall and they don't look at prices.
Yeah.
But that's
food,
me, but
bro,
with food, bro.
I like, that's the great thing about having LLC is that you can, like, write off food
you know, I'm still
transactions.
building I have articles, everything set up. I just gotta send the payment.
Get on it, bro, because any money you spend, gas, food,
tax write-off.
you don't have to pay taxes on that later. You could use that money first and then pay taxes later.
Yeah. So
You know,
I
it's
got
very,
like
very
I
useful.
know of it. I just gotta get to it. But I'm doing too much stuff.
Wait, so you have your own LLC?
Yeah, so when I started building the studio, I was like, I'm building like too much of an official space to not go
Official.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't on the books up until probably like September. I had been keeping track of all my finances. Like, I have a spreadsheet where I write all my hours and stuff.
Same.
You know, I got to be on point with that stuff. I ended up just doing it later, but I've been on point ever since.
You know, we were just talking in my class, my music theory or business class. But like, it's important for you to keep track of that information. Like, figure out how much you're spending, how much you're making.
Just
like,
be on it every day.
Every day, bro. At the end of the month, I do like a whole count. I go through my account, like because right now everything's tied up to my personal. So I actually gotta go.
Even
look
me
through
too.
everything.
I actually still don't have business credit because I'm building my personal credit right now with all the studio stuff. Because even if it's personal credit, it's a little bit harder rather than you just spending directly from your business account or your business credit, because it's just anything you spend off of there is just guaranteed. Like, this is an expense or a write-off.
Yeah.
When you do taxes, you gotta like hand in all your credit card. Like, I get statements for the past year of like all 7 or 8 credit cards and my bank accounts, and be like, here you go, and like figure it out to my CPA. But it's very important. You gotta stay on top of your finances, because if you don't, Uncle Sam's coming.
If you grow up
coming.
If you grow up in like poor, it's important for you to educate yourself financially, and that's one thing that I really try to strive for every single day. Like, I don't like other people doing my taxes, because I want to know. Like, that's our person. Like, I literally have a whole book.
Like, I feel the same way, bro. I still do my own.
Yeah.
While I let somebody handle it, but I always double check them. Like, even though I'm like.
Yeah, like, I know, like,
you know?
if I see what they send me, I'm like, okay, that checks out. So then, you know.
Yeah. It's like, why is this a little off? But
yeah.
Like, honestly, thank God. Like, my guy, he's actually one of my clients too, my CPA. So he'd be cooking.
Oh,
up
he
for
be
me
getting
too.
he be getting that discount while cooking.
Yeah, it's basically like I just do studio time and he handles.
You know, I've met a lot of interesting people recording, like artists, because you never know what's their second thing. Not everybody here is just full-time artists. Like, a lot of people recorded, they're not full-time artists. You know, it's fucking hard to make it out there. So they're like, yo, yeah, I rap, but also cut hair. So I'm like, get my hair cut.
Yeah, I have a few artists that cut hair. Sometimes I just be having them pull up and give me a shape up. I like to give back to my clients. Like,
yeah.
If there's any way that I can invest into the people that invested in me, I try to do it as much as I can.
Sometimes, you know, for me, it's hard to, like, you know, just random barbers. You know, I got one guy that I've been going to for 11 years. I don't plan on
Trust me,
switching it up.
I got braids. I was scared, but like, he was good. Thank God.
What are some of the struggles you faced building your business with clients maybe not coming in, or like people not wanting to pay the price?
The old. That's why I do deposits. And what I do now is I have a website. I use this service called Sketa, and it basically allows you to have like multiple spaces, like on one scheduling platform. So they could pick. I could set a space for just recording, podcasting, whatever type of sessions I'm doing. and they book a time frame. Now, instead of people sending me money, like I used to have people send me a $40 deposit, you don't show up in the first hour, you lose it, you got to reschedule.
Yeah.
Instead of that, what you do is you just put a valid credit card or debit card, like just something that's active.
Yeah.
And if it'll let you book with that. Now, it won't charge you. It's just like it makes you a genuine customer, putting like a valid payment option.
Yeah.
So that way, if you don't show up, I could still charge your card. But if you do show up, you could have me like you could pay with for your session with the card if you wanted to. So I take credit too.
You could see you're into something. I'm trying to get the Square. Just have people come in with their card. And
I use the website to do all the digital transactions, but I use this service called Stripe. They charge like 2% plus like 35 cents. It's like it ends up being like $1.50 for every $40 I make.
Yeah.
So if I work the full 24 hours, I lose like an hour.
Oh.
It's not that bad.
It's
You got to give it up a little bit because they're handling all those transactions for you. I wish it was more free. Like
yeah, I mean, nothing's ever free. Like, come on now.
Right.
We all gotta pay our due. That's why we charge what we charge.
Just charge it to the game. It's part of everything. Plus, like I said before, any of those fees that they charge you, you could write all that off because it's part of the business.
Everything, bro. It's important having an LLC just for the taxes and the government, and keeping legally separate, and keeping the business separate from your personal life. Right. Even though like my life is really intertwined with the business, everything I do.
I'm still that way too. I'm still trying to learn
how to separate both.
But it ends up working out,
Yeah, it's like
I'm organized enough where it's not like, yo, where'd that money go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where did this come from?
Yeah, like where does this bill come from? Like I don't remember. Like I'm pretty on point with everything, and that's really because of like I'm not trying to go back to my like past struggles. Like, I'm really trying to I want to keep moving forward.
Yeah, think about where you was. Like, do you really want to go back there?
Hell
like
no.
that's your motivation to look forward and do something else.
If I had to work for somebody again, I'd rather just not. Just be broke. Like, there's something about just being your own boss and just like making your own moves. Like, yeah, everything's on you. Yeah. But it just feels a lot better when you handle stuff.
It does.
You're not relying on people.
I'm getting to that point. Like, I tell people I'm on like a boat. I'm just riding the wave. But like, I make enough to sustain my life just doing this. Like just recording artists, editing videos. I make enough to live. Like, be like, okay, fuck it. I'm tired. I don't want to go to work. Stay in. But that's also like, it's great to be able to say, fuck it. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, like I can.
It's great. You could take out for a week, but that's on you at the end of the month.
It's like you gotta remember that. It's like, yeah, you have all the time in the world, but you gotta make sure you use that time wisely, because there might be a day that you don't have the luxuries that you have. So you gotta take advantage of it every day. While you got it. Yeah.
How do you learn to do what you do? Just a recording artist, producing beats.
So I didn't go to school for any of that stuff. It was really just like self-teaching myself. YouTube University, bro.
Student
of YouTube University.
Yeah, did Chowder get that from you or like?
Probably. I used to say a lot around him. Like,
I took that term. I took that term when I started using it. Like,
I've heard of that term too.
YouTube University.
Yeah, I forgot where I heard
knowledge
it from.
is more free than ever. It's just whether or not you want to sit there and
listen to
learn and like search something up. If you're really curious about something, like it's on the internet.
If you really want it, you'll ask the right questions.
You gotta ask Google.
Google knows bro.
Google will tell you everything.
So much knowledge out there that I'm like, why aren't you people using this to your advantage?
It comes in play with like people's situations and them not just having the knowledge to know that like everything's really that accessible. Yeah. It's not like a reality for most people yet, but I think as time's going on, it's like it's getting better for people, I would say.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing about especially starting up is you don't know what you don't know. So like, a lot of people don't even know.
I say that.
What kind of questions to ask, because they don't know that they don't know.
You know what? I do this thing, right? If I want to learn something that's like in college, but like I don't want to take the class, I look up the course catalog, and there's like things you like they're gonna teach you. So I go off those topics, and that's how I learned it in that sequence, and that's how I teach myself that certain thing. So it could be like next level math, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna teach you how to do this, functions, whatever. So you just go one by one, and at the end, when you learn every single thing, you know the topic.
All right.
And that's one way that I learned, because like I said, like first time you have to find out what you need to know. You don't, like you said, you don't know what you don't know. So if you start pulling random information, like, you're not really gonna get far. Like, eventually you get there because you compile a whole bunch of information. But if you do it in the right order, because everything is step by step, like, you can't expect to start recording if you don't know how to set up your interface. You know, so everything's step by step, and
balance your audio or speaker positioning.
Yeah,
acoustic treatment.
Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it, you know. But if you took the time to learn it, anybody could do.
Even
anything,
just read on it, and have it on your head, like, and when you start implementing it, you know, you start thinking, I'm like, oh, I read about this, you know, like this, like, you know how it's messing up before, like, I connected it. I read the manual and, you know, what everything was, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm going to keep the knowledge, keep it in the back of my head. If any issues come, like, I know I can reference something and I could probably fix the issue. And
you actually read the manuals to things.
Everything.
Do you?
No.
I don't read them. I've never read the manuals of that. That's crazy.
There's like, yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is just paperweight.
Yeah.
No, bro, like, I open the box, I don't pull out the equipment, I pull out the manual.
I mean,
bro,
that's a great habit. I wish I had that.
Yeah.
That sense of.
It's like, like, you find out so much stuff you know, you like, it's so helpful. It's there for a reason.
I mean, it really explains how the thing works.
So why are you gonna say here spend 10 hours?
Look at it.
I just like watching. The way I like to learn is like I really like watching somebody do it, and then like trying it right after and seeing what may have went wrong, or you know what I'm saying. Like I like that.
That's one way to learn. That's one way to learn. But when I'm in YouTube, if I see like, oh, he connected, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna connect it and just get to the next step. Like, I already know it's coming. Like, no, like I click through the video. Like, I look at pictures, basically. I look at 10 pictures. I'm like, okay, he did these 3 things. Let me do that now.
You know, the thing about YouTube that I don't like is that you can't ask them questions because it's just a video. And sometimes when I'm learning, I really want to ask them, like, what is the thought process behind that? Why did you do that in the way that you did? And that helps me learn better.
I mean, it depends on, like, who you're watching. Most people are pretty active with the comment section. What I like is that most of those YouTube producers and engineers that be teaching people, they're on Instagram heavy now. So like when you comment on them on like Instagram, it pops up as a notification, so they're more likely to respond to.
You know what? Stuff. Sometimes people are really like in YouTube popping off, but maybe the Instagram is like dry. So what I do is, if they're really high on like YouTube, I look for the other social medias. The one that is lowest, if you hit them up on that one, bro, they're gonna answer. Cause like, imagine you just going through your day and you get a random notification with Twitter that you haven't gotten in like 3 weeks. You're like, what the hell? It really makes you want to answer the phone. Like, who texted me on Twitter? Like, what is this? And then that's how you like get to people that are really high in certain platforms.
Yeah, how do you feel about Twitter and
did you listen to the last podcast? We had this conversation.
We were talking about Twitter and Elon Musk buying it, and I think it was a good move on his behalf.
He's a boss.
Yeah.
Let's just remember the fact that he paid in cash.
Wait, that has rolled up?
He got the financial lending to do it in cash at 58, whatever it was, a stock.
He just pulled up with trucks, bro.
Can you even imagine?
I know. How do you
$1 billion?
How do you picture that, bro? Like
you think $1 billion could fit in this room?
No. In hundreds, no.
In hundreds?
No, is it not here?
$1 million? Like, I've seen it on a video, like, spread out in a room, and it would probably fill this room.
Just $1 million?
And, like, singles, though.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe.
And that's the physical limitations of cash, you know?
Yeah. That's why digital is king.
Digital, like...
Cryptocurrency is definitely going to be...
You only run out of, like, money when, like, there's no storage.
You say cryptocurrency is what's hot right now?
I think so. I would say so.
I don't understand cryptocurrency, honestly.
I think, honestly, if you want my honest opinion on it, I think it's just a new way to money launder.
Yeah, it is.
NFTs, especially.
Think of especially Bitcoin.
Like, think of what art, like the art, like the whole society of art is like based on that. Like I could pay you $1,000 to splatter paint on a canvas, and then I could value that at $1 million.
But it's dirty money.
Donate that to him, and then you could write that off as a charity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like a lot of...
Yo, that's how rich people move, though, to not get taxed. They don't send each other money, actually. They'll be like, yo...
donate to each other.
Or they'll be like, yo, we're going to do this deal. I'll give you this Rolex, and you'll give me that car. That's how they exchange.
Yeah.
That, like a purse I saw a purse that costs like $700,000, bro. That's a house right there. Who's gonna pay that? But bro, it's something that
hard, when you give somebody money, bro, the government's on your ass. It's like they're like, who gave you this? Where it come from? Like, if you sometimes you can write it off as a gift, but if it's like it sees a certain amount, like You gotta be like, yeah, this guy gave it to me.
See, that's the thing about the system we live in, especially with the rules and all this money. There's so many loopholes, and the richer you get, the more loopholes you could play through.
You gotta start reading.
It's not even the richer you get; it's just knowing the knowledge.
No, but listen, the tax code. You gotta. It's like pages and pages and pages. Read the tax code and you'll be rich.
I think rich people just pay people to read it for them.
Exactly, like because they have money to pay people. But
bro,
like if
Trump
you're broke,
paid $900 in taxes. You seen that? You seen that
like,
too?
that's what I'm saying.
That's
somebody
a
out
good
there
move.
is reading the tax code and is charging rich people,
Yeah.
for that service.
Yeah.
Like he played it good. Trump played it good.
Bro,
like,
$900 in taxes. You made over $1 billion in 1 year, and you paid $900 in taxes. Everybody was outraged, but that's just the game, bro. You can't be mad at the player.
Bro, it's like playing chess, and like you're mad because you don't know the pieces when you have time to learn it. You know, if you're broke, you might have been born broke, but you can't be mad at staying broke, because if you're not doing it actively to change that. And I'm sorry to say it, guys, but like a regular job is just
doesn't cut it.
You can't.
It
you
doesn't
can't
cut it
survive in
sometimes.
New York with one source of income.
Yeah,
God
fuck
bless
no.
you if you do.
Bro, I have like 6, just
Yeah,
straight up
I
6,
don't
doing
even-
a lot of
I've
stuff.
never sat there and tried to count, but I definitely have multiple
Yeah,
flows of income.
like I look at my incomes, right? I do covers for artists. I do photos. I do videos. I edit videos. I'm doing recording sessions. And then aside from that, I still work a regular job.
Right.
And it's like I'm glad that I like doing all that, because if I hated doing that, like I couldn't live with my life, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah, bro. Happiness is more important than money.
Yeah,
Like that. Like it's very important. Like you could have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, like what does it matter?
yeah.
You know?
Like
It's just
I'm so
paperwork.
happy that I'm able to work like this.
Right.
Just doing this, just
Right.
being there. I just could spend there like 12 hours. I don't care, bro. I'm sitting there making music, getting paid. Like, but spending 12 hours somewhere I don't want to be
Standing
at.
on your feet, getting paid bare minimum.
Bro,
You got to deal with Karen.
Try. You know what? Try this. Try standing. If you don't work a 9 to 5 and you're just rich, try standing in one spot for 8 hours. You're gonna see how physically and mentally demanding it is, and just like put a chair in front of you just to like test your limits and see how long it takes you to sit in that chair.
Yeah.
See how long it takes you, cause like,
That's
and
a
now
mental battle.
think about doing that every day, 5-6 days a week.
Yeah, I don't miss that.
Like, if you really want to step into somebody else's shoes, try that. That's a
Yeah,
really
I
good
used-
experiment.
The most jobs I worked at once was 3. I was working at Fairway. This is when I lived in Brooklyn. I was working at Fairway. Then I worked at a deli, some Italian deli in downtown Brooklyn, and Instacart. You ever heard of Instacart?
Yeah.
So I worked for them too. So I was working at another supermarket. So I was just always bouncing around.
The most I think it was 3 the most I could handle. It was like this waitering job,
Yeah.
this other restaurant, and I was doing some construction.
Yeah,
You're doing
it's a lot,
construction.
bro. It's like,
Yeah, but construction is what got me to pay college. That's how I paid for college, construction.
Wow.
Not yet, bro. It's stepping stones. Like, as much as like we're gonna bitch about like all those jobs, they definitely put us
Yeah.
a step forward into
You
what
know,
we're
like,
doing now.
I'm grateful that I was able to, work. Like,
Mhm.
some people just are physically unable to work.
Mentally
like-
too. They just don't have the mental
Yo, it
capability.
takes-
to
it
sit
takes a
there
lot.
and be like like presentable for other people.
Yeah, bro, when I, like, go up out of interviews, bro, I'm, like, whole different personality.
Right.
You gotta be
I feel
presentable.
fake. I feel like I'm wearing.
I
a
feel
mask,
so fake, because that's not the real me.
And
And,
I
like,
get hired and I'm just me again.
this
This is what I signed up.
is what is one of the hardest jobs you had?
One of the hardest jobs. It was an office job. It was a really simple job. I'll just be behind the phone.
That's everybody's dream job.
No, fuck no.
Hell no. I don't
See-
want to sit in a
See,
cubicle. and
at
just-
first it's cool, right? Because you're just chilling there, but just sitting there. Again, you're not standing, but you're sitting, and you have to be in that one spot for hours and hours at a time. And it's not as physically demanding, but mentally it definitely is.
Yeah. How do you find the right balance? Just like, I don't want it to be too physically demanding. And then like not seem lazy at the same time.
the balance is never really truly a balance. It's just what works, kind of. I feel like if there was a set way of doing everything, it'd probably be done that way. You know, like our stories are all different from each other, but we ended up here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like we all ended up producing, recording. Like it don't matter how you learned it.
Mhm.
Like me, I learned it like you guys, YouTube University. But then I want to take it an extra step, go to college, to learn my stuff, get a certificate, and have something in the water since I did it
Right.
in college.
Nah, I've
And
been
that's-
thinking about going to school for it, but like
Bro,
I'm at a point where like I'm so busy.
see, and you got to many responsibilities at this point where you're like, now I gotta give some of that stuff up. You know,
Right.
now you gotta sacrifice something to get your education.
I don't even think college is worth it, because if you were to go, they'd make you study calculus and shit. Like
Actually,
that.
so all right, let me put you on.
Depends on what you do.
Let me put you on. I'm doing the studio recorder certificate at NASA Community College.
Mhm.
So we're doing music theory. Very important. It's very important if you're producing.
Absolutely.
Music business also very important. They show you the contracts. You know, for me it's really important. And then how to record. You know, for me not as important because I know how to do it, but I gotta sit through it. You know, it's part of the course. But if you are doing music, try to learn those 3 topics as well. Try to learn music theory, music business, and then the production side of things. You'll be like more valuable.
Yeah, music theory is like the major key. It's very important
How
in
you-
every aspect.
How you educated you in music theory? Do you feel like?
I'm always learning. I will never ever say that I'm like
I
I
got
got
it.
it all. It's all I got it under the belt, but I'm always learning every day. Like if I'm not in a session, I try to just sit there and watch shit and try different shit with like older projects, and you know what I'm saying, like just always trying to increase my skill as much as possible.
At what point did you feel comfortable saying like, yo, you know, I'm really good at this? Like how many years, how long? Because I was at this point, right, as an artist, I was like, yo, I'm doing music, but I don't feel I'm good enough. Yeah. And I just recently, like about 1 or 2 years ago, I'm like, yo, I'm the shit. I started feeling like, you know, like I
Right.
got this. Like I'm
I don't know
somewhere.
if like I've ever sat back and really said that to myself. Like I still feel like I could always do better. Like I'm just never satisfied with what I got.
I mean, and that's
You
like
know?
motivation too, you know, if you think
Right.
about it. It's like if you're not satisfied with results, you keep picking at it until you like find the satisfaction.
Word. I'd
So-
rather just let other people tell me than like self-proclaim it.
That's how you want it.
yeah. You know
That's
what I'm
the
saying?
best way to do it.
Right.
Let others
It's
praise
good
you.
to self-proclaim it because it gives you like the confidence to be great, you know,
Mhm.
and that's very important. But like, I don't know. I just don't want to say like, yeah, I'm pro. know?
I can't say that to myself.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm like, bro, I'm in the right path. That's sometimes
Right,
the way
that's
I think.
how
of-
I feel.
I'm like, I'm on the
just
right path. I'm doing something
basically.
that a lot of people aren't doing, and those who are doing it, like, you know, one day we'll eventually get to work together.
Right, exactly. Like even the greats are learning to this day. Like, you follow Mike Dean on Instagram?
Yo, I fucking love Mike.
Bro, he's always
That guy
fucking
is
with
awesome.
he's always fucking with something new. Like it's impressive. Like how much creative like intelligence and like draw for like to learn new stuff that he has. It's just like he's so old. He's not really that old, but he's an older guy.
What is
and
he?
he's
He's
like
like- he's
still
like in
has
his
the
40s,
He
right?
has the ambition. I think he's almost in his 50s.
He's almost in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's really
Might
good.
be
I be
younger.
watching his lives where he be messing around with all them synthesizers
Mhm.
and whatnot. Yeah.
He's very intelligent dude. He's always trying to learn new things.
Do you know how to play any instruments?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Not
Nothing.
even the piano.
I'm a keyboard warrior.
Key-
I'm talking
keyboard.
about Q, W,
He fights with
E,
the
R, T.
keys.
So how do you go about it when it comes to making music? If
I don't know. I just always like, so I always start like if I'm cooking up in session. So like what I'll offer with my studio sessions is like if I make you a beat in your session, you own it, rather than you paying me on the side. For
you
it.
own the beat.
Right. Like
Okay.
we basically cook up together and you get to own it.
Nice.
And I get my ends by saying I'm the producer and then just making my hourly rate, you know.
That's if
Uh,
that's if they sit through you cooking up.
Yeah. So
How long does it
sometimes-
take you to cook up?
Sometimes I'll cook up in 15 minutes, 30, an hour. It really just depends on the vibe and like what we're doing. Like
Mm.
if we're sampling, it's going to take a little bit longer cuz we got to chop some samples and stuff like that. But usually it's like 30 minutes,
Hmm.
at least 30 to 40 minutes like I'm laying out the track,
Mhm.
arranging it already. So
Do you ever
I
get
got
B
pretty
block?
quick. Huh?
Do you ever get B block?
Oh yeah, there's times that I don't produce for like a month or two.
Bro,
to
I
be
tell
honest with
people,
you. Like,
like when you feel stuck in something, go live life.
that's
I like
that's
Go
the
go
best.
live
That's
life.
exactly what it was because it was to a point where I was doing it a lot, and it was kind of draining a little bit. Like I just felt like I was like, I had to take a break and step back and just kind of like live a normal life a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
you
the
know.
studio's cool, but like you don't want to be in here all day. You
Yeah,
know? Like it's
I
just,
I
you
like
gotta-
being here, but
I love being at my
Yeah.
studio. You know, like who
it's
wouldn't love
honestly
it?
our safe space as producers, artists. Like a lot of times, it's our safe space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like our lives at home might be shitty. Like doing other stuff might be shitty, but when you come here, like, all right,
this is
this
the
is
vibe.
you sit
know?
back and you're like, let's get to work.
Yeah,
it's-
bro, it's a good feeling. Definitely.
But yeah, like I tell artists all the time, like the most consistent I've ever been in a studio was like 2 months straight, every single day, Monday through Friday, through Sunday, every single day, like at least 8 or 10 hours. Sometimes I would sleep over. That's how, cause I had just built it.
There all the time.
I had just built it. I'm like, yo, I got this. We doing this.
It's like you never want to leave.
Yeah,
It's like, this is paradise. Like,
yeah, like tears dying, like one tear
bro.
coming down. But after a while, I'm like, yo, I'm
I
I'm
almost
drained.
hate this place.
I'm
Like, I
not-
gotta
like,
get out.
I'm like, how am I starting to hate something like I really loved? Like, you know.
You're doing too much.
And then I'm like, that's when I started thinking, yo, maybe I'm doing it wrong. You know, I'm gonna go live life. I'm gonna take one day of the week to just live my life and just go family, go with friends.
You gotta give time for you to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're with a girl. Like if you're giving her all the attention in the world,
That was me this morning before.
she'll never like have a time to miss you.
Yeah.
So what excitement do you really bring if you're always?
You gotta give that space.
Yeah, it gives it a sense of awe and wonder,
Yeah.
and that's just with anything.
No, it's
And
crazy. It
that's
happened this morning. I haven't seen this girl for a whole month.
like, oh shit.
I've just been so busy. I haven't seen her for a whole month. Like I haven't called. She's not like, if you don't call, like I'm not calling you. Like, you know, it's a little bit toxic, but like we get it. You know, they're busy too. It's like I haven't seen her for a month, and I'm like, yo, I miss you. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you get that feeling, get that excitement, get stuff going. And I almost didn't make it to this podcast because of that.
Hey man, you gotta handle your business. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What else? Any questions, Jay?
Yeah. Who do you think is, so you record people, right? You record artists, you make beats. Who do you think is who are the hottest artists out right now?
Locally?
From people that I record.
Yeah, in your opinion. Or they don't even have to be, all right, starting with people you record, but then outside of that, just locally though, just around here.
Yo, bro, I work with a lot of people, so I just got like, I'm just running through names right now.
Mhm.
There's a lot of talented people.
I had to look through my Dropbox to remember people's names.
Yeah, like my client folder is getting ridiculous. Like it takes a while to scroll through.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. Like I love being able to have the opportunity to work with so many people.
How many people do you have?
I think I'm over the 300 mark.
Yo.
No, fucking way.
Yeah.
You tripling
Nah,
me
that's
right
crazy.
now.
Yeah, bro, it's retarded. Like that's
I'm
good, though.
sitting-
You got
I'm
100 clients, bro. That's
yeah.
awesome, bro. That's lit.
But who do you feel, in your personal opinion? Because, you know,
Yeah, out of those
as
300,
producers,
top
as engineers, we see artists coming in and out. Sometimes we get half of them, but there's like one that's like, yo, you got some shit going on for you, you know. And we recognize whack, and sometimes we can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we recognize whack and great, but we won't tell it to your face
Right.
because we're getting paid.
I'm brutally honest. Like I tell people straight up, like, Lo, I'm not a yes man. Like, you're gonna do it again. You're not gonna keep this recording. Like,
because your name is on the line too.
Yeah, that too. But like, it's more or less like I'm more concerned with their name on the line. I'm not trying to be a face front value of trap or anything. Like, I'm trying to just be that guy. Oh, Clearmind put that together, and it's just like,
Yeah,
you know, I let everybody else shine. That's the whole idea with it.
that's cool. That's
you know?
that's a great way to think about it. You know,
Right, bro.
putting
I just want to put people on. That's like the whole idea with the space. Because truthfully, like with our talents, you could charge a lot per hour. But like, I rather cut my price and have people work more frequently. Because you never know what you could be stopping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I'd be feeling with the studios. Like, oh, if I take off today, like, what if like this guy is making like his biggest hit today? And, like, I just want to not work today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, trying to balance with that.